What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Good Success Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Keller, and I've got an exciting one for you today. We've got our boy, Max Keller, on the line. What's up, Max?
Man. Hey, I'm doing great. How are you, Josh? Love the hair. The mohawk keeps getting thinner the longer I've known you, so pretty soon it won't even be there.
It's receding.
Hey, so is mine.
Like episode 300, it's going to be gone.
Yeah,
we're on like 109, 110 or something like that. It's going to be gone by that time.
Gosh, receding mohawk. Love it.
So today we are Facebook Live again. So thank you guys for joining us on the live stream. If you are not on the live stream, you're listening to the post-produced podcast, then you guys, we go Facebook Live every Friday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. So make sure you join in with us. Today we've got Max Keller with
Hi.
Savior Realty, Savior Realty Academy, Savior Realty Remodeling, and Foundation. And he does all that stuff, fantastic at what he does. And Max, we always say, so this is like the fourth or fifth podcast we've had. No, it's our fourth one that we've had Max on before.
Yep.
And we always say he's our golden child because
well,
Max has been with us since day one of Good Success. So our very first event we ever had, even before the mastermind, Max was there at it, supporting us. And then as soon as the mastermind came around, he's like, I'm in, man. So he's been with us ever since. Helps run our breakout sessions and does a fantastic job at it. We'll get into that a little bit because Max is a fantastic teacher. So I'm excited to introduce Max, but I'm gonna come right back around to him. And you guys are gonna have fun on this podcast today. It's gonna be an exciting. We got some really good questions for Max on this interview. So before we get into it, the mastermind. So we have our Good Success Mastermind, which I talked about a little bit, which Max has been a part of since day one. Max, what do you think about the mastermind? Good, yes, no.
I would say it's like my portfolio, strong to quite strong.
Well, that's good. That's awesome.
Meet the Parents. That was a little movie quote there.
Yeah.
I think that movie came out before you were born.
It probably did. So anyway, but we have our mastermind. The next mastermind event is going to be August 9, 10, and 11. That's actually going to be right in our backyard in Maryville, Indiana at Innsbrook Country Club. It's very exciting. Max, I know that we had, I know it's going to be awesome. I swear, man, it's going to be.
Are we playing golf? Do we have green fee?
We will have green. Yeah, we will have a green there. So that's probably what's going to happen after the event. So make sure you stick around for that. But at the last event, we were actually really crammed in there. And so we had to make sure we open it up a little bit more because the community is growing. We're getting a lot more members signing up, and it's definitely a growing community. So
hey, the Bears aren't doing good. Why don't we just take Soldier Field?
I mean, we could. That's plenty of room right there.
Why don't we do that next time?
I mean, the amount of people that show up to the mastermind is about the same amount as the people that actually show up for Bears games on Sundays. So I think
that's rough.
I think we're good. So we're excited about that. You guys have to go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind in order to sign up for that. You do actually have to apply for it. We don't let anybody into the group. We actually want to vet, yes, the volume of deals that you're doing, but also your character, if you're a giver, and what type of person you are, if you have a great attitude, that kind of thing, because we don't want people in there that are going to be toxic to the actual community that we've built. So we're very excited about it. August 9, 10, and 11, you guys go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind. Not right now because you're on the live stream, but afterwards to check out the mastermind. We're excited to talk to you. So without further ado, Max Keller, let's go ahead and get on into this. So if you guys are watching the live stream right now, you're listening to this by way of Max sharing it on his profile and sharing the podcast and whatnot. If you guys don't know who we are Good Success, and we have a podcast, the Good Success Podcast, obviously what you're listening to right now. And we do come out with episodes every single week, so you guys can subscribe. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud, and we'll have all that linked below for you guys. But for Max, the people that have not heard you on our podcast, so we've had a couple of, I believe, like I said, this is our fourth episode, so we've had previously 3 episodes with him. And for the people that don't know who you are, can you do a brief introduction of who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing that? Don't go too far into your actual teaching background, but stay kind of high level with your real estate background.
Sure. Well, thanks, Josh, for being on the call and inviting me. And y'all do a tremendous job at Good Success. So anybody who's listening, if you're just finding out about these people, watch their videos, check them out. They really are high quality people. So thank you for all that you do. For me, I started doing real estate about 3 years ago, actually almost to the day. My friend bought a rent house. He got me interested in it a little bit. At the time, I was a full-time high school math teacher, and I just decided that I wanted to start a business. I looked into real estate. I got some education, some coaching, some mentoring, and I got started with wholesaling, joined some masterminds. It took about a year of me working in real estate to be able to replace my active income from teaching. And then, I really never looked back. That first year I grew my business, and I could tell that this would work like as a full-time thing for sure. The second year, which was 2017, we rehabbed, just to put it in context, about 24 houses. We started a remodeling and foundation company. I started my coaching academy and started getting students this year. And so it's a real journey. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, it sounds weird. Like in some ways, like I can't believe I'm here. In some ways, I can, because, I wrote the goals down. I was very, very purposeful in my actions and what I'm doing. I've gotten a lot of benefits from masterminds. I've been in 3. Y'all's is one of them. Of course, yours is the best, right? They're all very good. I think they're all a little different. And, but I've gotten a lot of benefit from learning from people who have experience and are, ahead in the game and putting those things into action. And, that's kind of where I've been and what I'm doing. And that's how long I've been doing it.
Absolutely. And the way we actually came to meet Max was by a mastermind that he was in with Jim Ingersoll back when Jim was doing his mastermind. Mm-hmm. And you, Mo Matthews, Connor Steinbrook was in there as well. Yep. And I think there was a couple other people that we connected with, but Tom was in that mastermind with you guys. And so that's how we actually came to know Max. And then he ended up coming to our first event that we had for Good Success. So that's exciting. It's like our network knows your network knows ours, and just we're all intertwined in some way, shape, or form. So it's exciting how God worked things out with our relationships and that kind of thing. So
that's right.
Good to hear about that. So talk a little bit about so you have Savior Realty. So talk a little bit about what you actually do. So you said you did 24 deals in 2017. And
right.
Are all those wholesale deals, or all those fix and flips? Do you do any wholesale, any buy and hold, stuff like that? So tell a little bit about what the deals you do for Savior Realty.
Well, and it kind of goes to, another thing that people ask me about, which is, when I started, I was preoccupied with the number of transactions that I did, because there's kind of a pecking order in real estate, whether people admit it or not. There's a pecking order in everything. Mm-hmm. I remember kind of a funny story. When I was a high school math teacher, I taught algebra and geometry. And I remember going to the professional developments when I was a teacher, and I'd run into some other high school teachers, and they'd say, "Oh, what do you teach?" And I'd say algebra. And they go, "Oh, I teach calculus." Like I'm a loser.
Yeah.
Because I teach 9th grade math and they teach advanced kids, which, by the way, kids who are advanced, they teach themselves. Okay. But the kids who are struggling hard, like the kids I got to work with that I loved, it's a lot harder to do that job. But, that's not the way the world works. And when I got into real estate, I found out real quick, it's all about how many deals you do, which I think is, crap. Is a crap an okay word to use on the show? I love Jesus.
It's an acceptable word.
But crap, it's total crap. So if you're listening to this and I can provide you any value, is that don't worry about how many deals you do. That's crap. Okay. It's about net profit, because if there's no margin in your business, there's no mission. Okay. You can't go help people if you're broke. And I know a lot of people and I was one of them. So I'm not talking about other people. I'm just talking about me. Right. I got real preoccupied in doing a lot of deals. Let me tell you something, don't make no difference. We're flipping a house right now, and we're looking to gross, you don't know till it's sold, but 60 to 70. Okay. That's one deal. Okay. That's net profit, or that's gross profit. And you take the operating expenses off.
Right.
The point is that that's all I care about. And I know people who do way more deals than me, and they think that they're just unbelievable. And they're these little, $2,000-$3,000 joint venture, 15 person on a daisy chain wholesale deals. And there's nothing wrong with those. But let's just, for this podcast, just get rid of all that silliness and focus on goals, and then the skills and how to reach those goals. And what's interesting about real estate is there's a million different ways to get to the same place. And that's a blessing and a curse. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that. But unfortunately, Josh, because I didn't take my ADHD medicine, I forgot what your question was.
Well, we were talking about what you do with Savior Realty. So
so the flips. Okay, I will answer. I apologize. Flips. I don't have any opinions, obviously. I'm sorry. I have no opinions. I'm very opinionated. I'm very passionate about this business. I love it very much. But it's mostly fix and flips. Our rule of thumb is that if we can make 50% of the estimated profit by wholesaling, then we'll do that. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do we've done some wholesaling this year. We're going to do some fix and flips.
If that option's available.
And it always is usually, because to wholesale, you have to buy it cheaper than to fix and flip, because you have to make profit to sell it to a fix sometimes.
Right.
But normally you're buying a wholesale. When you're wholesaling, normally you're buying the deal lower. Now, sometimes we wholesale deals that it's not worth it to fix and flip, but we're selling it to landlords, and they're kind of a long-term play, and they're willing to pay a little more for really tight inventory. But primarily what I do for my job, and that's a whole nother issue. These people running around saying they got these businesses. Give me a break. Read E-Myth. And it says a business is when it runs without you being there. And I know people in our mastermind who have those, and I'm not one of them yet. Now, I will say that when we buy a house and it goes to the rehab stage, I'm out of it now, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I joined a mastermind, and the guy who ran the mastermind said, if you have to go out to your rehabs, then I don't think he said you don't know what you're doing, but he said you shouldn't be going out to your rehabs. Right. And I was like, well, how is it not going to go totally crazy? But I hired a project coordinator, promoted him to project manager. He's really stepped up to the plate. And the last rehabs we've done, I didn't go out to the properties. And so that is like a business, you know what I mean? And that's kind of cool. So now for me, I'm looking to find somebody to do the acquisitions, and then I'll just manage kind of those people. And then once I find somebody, the right person, and we are at the right level of our business to hire somebody to run the day-to-day operations, then I'll just work with that person, and then I'll go on vacation for a month, come back, and make money, kind of like your boss.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's totally true.
But it takes time. But yeah, I mean, that's what we do. And then I just want to mention real quick, we do some remodeling and foundation work for people who are getting their houses ready to sell. And they're working with a realtor, which is fine. And then I have a academy where I help and mentor some local people. It's not a real big part of what I do, because I'm doing deals. I'm trying to buy a house a week. That's what I'm doing. But I do that too.
Well, so Max is actually in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I know that you said that you do that for local people. Can you just 30 seconds tell us what Savior Realty Academy, I know you have webinars, I know you have videos out there. So tell us what people can expect with that.
Well, what you can expect is the truth. You can expect a lot of the filler not in there. You can expect a lot of content and specific instructions for people who are motivated, for people who actually want to do this, for people who actually want to go to somebody's house and know what they're doing. So I teach people how to do that. I have a group class that I do that's kind of condensed down, but it's very affordable. I want to keep it affordable. And other places it's not, and I don't care what anybody else does. But my goal is to connect with motivated people who were like me, or 3 years ago when I didn't know nothing, but I had a little bit to invest, and I just needed a little bit of knowledge to get where I needed to be, and I hired a coach like this. And then I have a one-on-one class where I teach people individually, and I'm real selective. I only have 2 people at a time, because, I'm running a real estate business,
right.
It's I need to do deals. And to be honest with you, the real estate business pays a lot more than the coaching. Right. Let's just get down to it and say what it is. And so I can't just do that full time, because, man, I'm sorry, that should be off. My apologies. Turned off. I don't know what's wrong.
Hey, it's all good.
But anyways, can I head that way now? No, gosh, these people, guys, we're really doing business here. This is real life. Okay. I'm sorry. No, I am busy. I'm sorry. This is real. This is real talk.
It's genuine. You're on the live stream right now doing business.
Yeah, man, I'm running a business, and I'm running a business. It's a job in a business. But anyways, I like to help people. I've created this curriculum because I have a teaching background, and I haven't been real impressed with a lot of the coaching programs I've seen. I think they're either overpriced, undervalued. They don't give you specific instructions. It's just like a collaboration of a bunch of YouTube general knowledge. Yeah. And I'm trying to make it to where you can go through it, and then you actually know what you're doing. You don't have to call me, you're confident.
Right.
Dude, these are skills. And when you develop the skills, they're locked in forever. And as long as there's value in the marketplace for these skills, you can use them to make money. So I'm trying to make people not dependent on me.
Right. Absolutely. So having all said that's a lot of mindset stuff that I definitely love talking about, that I know people that have been on the interviews before talk a lot about mindset factors. Now, one big mindset factor, the reason why it annoys you that a lot of coaching programs out there are a big waste of time, big waste of money.
They might
be. Value your time. So
right.
In the actual mastermind, Max has done a breakout session with time and actually breaking that down. 1,440 minutes, right?
1,440 minutes per day.
Per day, correct. So that's how much you have. And that's what Max really goes off of. And he did an exercise in one of our breakout sessions that was absolutely incredible. So I asked him to talk a little bit about why you should value your time and how to actually structure your time. So I know that Max is a fantastic teacher and he has a teaching background of 7 years, right?
Yeah. I got a master's degree. I mean, I'm focused on how to actually teach, talking about stuff is not teaching. Teaching, right. There's feedback loops. There's some type of, assessment. There's you're trying to lock in knowledge. And that's what I did for 7 years. And now it turns out not that many people have a real estate background, have a teaching background too.
Absolutely. And that's why his Savior Realty Academy is so unique. And then also that's why we have him on our breakout sessions.
Right.
Help run breakout sessions is because of how good of a teacher Max is. And that's very important to have. Well, so let's talk about time. This is a super interesting topic because we know people out there. And the reason why it annoys you that you have a job right now as opposed to a business, like you just said, is probably because of the time factor.
You're damn right it is.
It's all valuing your time. And I personally think that valuing your time is 100% a mindset because you know how many people my age, I mean, I'm only 24. And so we're in that stage where you want to go party, you want to go waste time, you want to go watch movies and all that stuff. And it just wastes time. And it's such a valuable currency that you don't have a lot of, that you're never going to get back. Oh. So this is something I'm definitely passionate about, but I love hearing Max talk about it because he brings it down to a specific science, to his very specific how he spends every single minute of every single day. So you guys are going to want to listen to this, take notes. So Max, let's talk about some time. Why do people need to value their time?
Well, you only have to if you're trying to reach some really big goals, or you think that your life might end at some point. Mm-hmm. If you are not trying to hit big goals and you plan on living forever in the human form on this planet, you don't need to. Okay.
Which everybody has an expiration date.
Yeah. Here's how I look at it, because here's the bottom line. If you're watching this and you're not getting the success that you have, it's because of the knowledge that you possess. You most likely have not read enough books. Somebody who reads more books than you and applies the knowledge from those books, you will not be able to compete with them. They will always have an advantage over you. It is all about reading. And I'm dyslexic. And I read 10 books probably the first 35 years of my life because it's really hard to read if you're dyslexic. And if you don't know, just look up dyslexia and it's really hard. But you can't make excuses. You have to find a way. So I'm all about the reading. I'm all about the knowledge. And I have a coach who specializes in time. And he's like, Coach Benson is like one of the only people I know who really focuses and takes us down to a science. So I didn't come up with any of this. As a matter of fact,
amazing, by the way,
I don't
Some
have
of his principles are so
well.
It's like logical and common sense, but he puts it in a way that's just
so
amazing.
So to give some value to the viewers right now, basically there's 5 audiences in your life. 5 things that are vying for your attention. One is God, right? You want to spend time with God or spiritual, whatever your persuasion. One of them is your family. You spend time taking care of yourself. There's your community, and then there's your work. And those are pretty much the 5 audiences. And, how you spend your time is kind of a reflection of your priorities. And so you will not be able to, if you read the book, Talent is Overrated, incredible book. I just finished it. It talks about how, there is no such thing as these natural gifts. They can't prove it. And the reason is because in the book, they went and found all these people who are uber successful. And they found out that the reason they're uber successful is 2 reasons. 2, how much domain knowledge they have, which is like what I was talking about with books. So if you have a lot of knowledge about your subject area, that's paramount to being uber successful. Okay. And then the other thing is your deliberate practice. Mm-hmm. So, the easiest thing to think about is like a musician. The top musicians, they study music and they study that they get the knowledge, and then they are deliberately repeating, their musical stuff, and you can tell I'm not a musician, but they're practicing their musical pieces, and they're working on their weaknesses, and they're intensely focusing for like 4 or 5 hours a day for 10, 15 years. And that's how they get good. Not from gifts, not from any of that garbage. And so, I guess what I'm looking at here is like time. So like if you're trying to catch up with somebody who's been putting in all that work and all that practice, and you're not really laser focused on your time, and you're just kind of doing a little bit here and a little bit there, it's not going to work. You have to be very purposeful what you're doing. And if you want to become great in something, you're probably going to be mediocre or just okay in the other areas. You're going to have to be okay with that, because if you're doing something, you're not doing something else. So I told you that I would commit an hour to talking to you, and us working together right now, there's something else that I'm not doing. But if this is the most important thing that I need to be doing as far as my professional or personal goals, then it doesn't matter what I'm missing out on, because this is the most important thing. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example about time. This week it was Monday. I was vetting a deal. A friend of mine needed to sell his house. And I had, just like right now, my phone was blowing up and all these people wanted my attention, and I had a pile of stuff to do. That doesn't matter. Forget about all that stuff. Forget about all those people. Forget about the pile of work, because if you're doing the most important thing, then that's all that matters, because you're doing the most important thing. Think of it like a point system. Do you want to put an hour into something and get 10 points, or do you want to get 100 points? Points towards your goals. Okay. So in order to be successful, you're going to have to make a lot of people angry. You're going to have to not answer a lot of people's calls. You're going to have to ignore a lot of stuff. You're going to have to make your accountant not happy with you because you didn't turn everything in on time. That's the way it goes. And the sooner you figure that out, the faster you'll get to your goals. That's my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And Max lives this. Like he has this stuff down to a T. I mean, it's so funny because when I'm emailing you, I never expect an immediate response. And it doesn't happen, but that's okay, because I understand that Max values his time.
Right.
That's why I email you as opposed to just picking up a phone and calling you, which I know that even if I did that, we're close enough friends that you'd be okay with it. But at the same time, I want to value your time, because if I knew that you didn't value your time, I would have no problem picking up a phone.
Right. And that's what people do.
I know that you value your time, so I value it as well.
Dude, people call me up and I'm like, how incredibly rude. Like, you don't even know what I'm doing. Like, that's so rude. But I didn't used to think like that. And look, it is not because I'm arrogant. I don't have an ego. Trust me, guys.
That's not it. No.
Trust me.
It's a mindset thing, though.
It is. It's like, look, if you want to be a big shot, however you define that,
yeah,
like, you have to do stuff that big shots do. You know why CEOs don't have computers? Is because they don't need to mess around with that stuff. They got people who do that for them. My business cards have got the phone number to my assistant. It's not because I'm a big shot. It's because I can't get my goal. I can't do the things I need to do to hit my goals if I'm just picking up the phone and talking to everybody who calls me.
Right. Absolutely.
It just doesn't work.
Right.
But I'm still in the entry level of this. I don't have this mastered. What I would encourage people to do is go on timetrade.com. It's a great service, and you can set up some different kinds of appointments. And when people when there's somebody you want to talk to, shoot them a link, and it syncs up with your calendar, and it'll only put times that are available when there's like gaps in your calendar, and it allows people to book an appointment to talk to you. So it's a lot more productive. Don't have a 1 hour meeting with somebody when 30 minutes will do. Don't talk to somebody for 30 minutes when 15 minutes will do. Because if you stack up all these little 15 minutes here, here, and here, and here, it's hours a day, multiple hours a week, days and weeks a year that you gain in productivity over 5-10 years. And if you're doing the most important actions, nobody will be able to compete with you.
Right. Absolutely. And so, Max, what do you think the biggest, so we have our mastermind and everybody gets up there with their issues, with their problems. What do you think the number one thing is when it comes to when our mastermind members are presenting in front of the room? What do you think the number one issue is for people?
Well, it's different for everybody. For most people, it's trying to do too many things at once. is that sort of a time thing. It's kind of a focus thing. It's sort of a fear of loss or a scarcity mindset, which is like, and I have it too, guys. I'm not up here trying to preach like I know everything. I don't know everything. I battled with this too. But, lately I've gotten real with myself and just decided, you know what? I want to be great at fixing and flipping real estate. I've looked at all the different strategies, and for right now, that's the best thing that I can do. How can I leverage my time to hit my goals as effectively as possible and help a lot of people in the process too? It's not like the Max Keller show. But most people are trying to do way too many things. They're just super not focused. Some people really don't take this business that serious. Some people started when it was a lot easier to start, and they got picked up. They gobbled up some rentals in 2010 and 2011, when if you had a pulse, you could gobble up rentals. And they've got cash flow, and they've gotten some level of success, and they've kind of just like stalled, and they're not like continuing to learn. And, people like me are catching up big time, and they're going to pass them. You have to be innovating all the time. So I don't know. I mean, everybody settles at some point, like when I married my wife, I settled. Yeah. I said, this is the greatest woman I've ever met. I'm all in. I want to just marry this woman, and I'm good with that. I love my wife. Okay. And some people, they get to a certain house and they're like, this is our forever home, and they settle, and that's fine. But I just think that with the real estate business, oh my gosh, with all the leverage opportunities, you don't need to settle. You don't need to set realistic goals. I mean, your boss is like the king of crazy goals, and most people probably think he's nuts.
Yeah.
And I've thought that a lot. But man, it's not.
I mean, I do too.
Dude, he is in a way, but that's a visionary, And so I got to challenge myself like that too. I just went and looked at my VTO for 2017. The book Traction, Gino Wickman. And I didn't hit my 2017 income goals. I flat out didn't do it, and it's because I hadn't looked at it in a long time. That's on me. And so now I'm looking at it weekly, and I'm back on the focus. But yeah, when I go to the masterminds, the main thing is just doing too many things. And it goes right back to what I was talking about earlier with deal making, where there's this like status with doing a lot of deals. There's also a status with doing a lot of different things, So just like people go like, I can turn any lead. I can monetize any lead. Like, dude, that might not be the most effective use of your time, because if you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none.
Yeah.
And so for me personally, I'll give you an example. Real talk. I went on 4 buy calls this week. I bought one of the houses. One of them I referred to somebody who's what do you call it? Like seller finance specialist. So he's going to buy it and seller finance it to somebody, right? And he'll give me a little commission for that, right? Yeah. One of them was a realtor deal. I'm not a realtor, so I just sent it to my realtor and said, you take this one, right? And then the other one was something else. Oh, I just told the lady to stay in her house, because she couldn't make enough. Okay. So it's like, just focus on one thing. Now I could have called up private money people and taken the deal down and seller financed it to somebody. And then I could have got my real estate license and listed the house. But to me, when you try to do that, it's really a scarcity mindset. You're thinking, if I focus on one thing, I'm not going to be successful, because I'm going to miss out on a $6,000 realtor commission and a $10,000 seller finance deal. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
you have to be okay with that. Yeah.
Look, I know a lot of creative deal makers, and they do really well, but I just think their ceiling is not as high as somebody who specializes. Yeah. Because I meet all these creative deal makers, and most of them have been in the game a while, and they're jack of all trades, and they make a really good income and everything. But I mean, when you're doing a million things, you only have so much time in a day.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I love that statement too, is that if you're the jack of all trades, you're the master of nothing. I mean, we hear that all the time, but like, does it really make sense to you when you hear that term?
Show me. Somebody show me. I like this word, pianist. Is that how you say it? The piano people?
Pianist? Yeah.
Show me a pianist that's a master violin player and a master trombone player. Show me the person. Show me the person. There isn't anybody, because it doesn't work. Because to be the very best at something, you have to focus on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it takes years and years and years and years and years of deliberate practice and domain knowledge. So people who do a million different things don't impress me.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. That's so good. So making sure you guys value your time, that's highly important. So kind of segueing into the next thing that we're going to talk about is some of the biggest pitfalls that you have seen from real estate investors. Maybe it's experienced real estate investors, but maybe
We'll
it's
talk about
also
me because I don't want people to think. I'll share my dirty laundry. I'm okay.
no, absolutely. Go ahead.
Biggest pitfall for me. I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget. I thought
Yeah.
about your questions for a while. Yes, he sends us the questions ahead of time. Think about it, people. You really
Mhm.
want us to make stuff up? Come on. No, I mean, it makes sense. You guys, you're very prepared. This is an incredible show. So I wish that when I started, I had more knowledge about how to run a company, a business, like accounting, like how to pick a good accountant versus a not a good accountant. I should have grown a lot slower. I was trying to be like all these people in my mastermind, like in 6 months.
Mhm.
And it's just like, that's not going to happen. Okay. I mean, maybe somebody goes from Waffle House to being in the Star Wars movies, but I mean, in this business, and that's only half the story because I mean, think about it. Like they've been working on their acting for probably
Right.
10 or 15 years,
Right. Exactly.
so it's not Waffle House to Star Wars. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so for me, I tried to go Waffle House to Star Wars and it just didn't work. I was stressed out. I felt last year like I was having a heart attack. I wasn't, but I went and got an EKG. I mean, I was just going like as hard as I could. And I was like, that's very immature of me. I really didn't have the discipline. I didn't really understand what it took to be a successful entrepreneur. And so I didn't really understand what net profit was. So I
Right.
wish I had a better grasp of that because I probably left $100,000 on the table last year. That would be in my bank account right now if I had made better choices.
Right.
And it was from lack of knowledge by trying to grow too fast. So now I'm trying to like absorb the growth and just absorb for a little while. And then I'm getting ready for my next uptick. I've got some new businesses that are highly leveraged with other people's energy and other people's money and other people's time. And I'm building them to sell them. I'm not building them to work in them. We're gonna start them. We're gonna put systems in 2, 3, 4 years, and then we're gonna sell them for a multiplier of the net operating income. And that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not gonna start another business that isn't sellable.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna read the book Built to Sell. My business coach told me to get that. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
I've read some books on franchising, but biggest pitfall for me, yeah, just trying to grow too fast. Guys,
Right.
we don't got to do this overnight.
Right. Absolutely.
Calm down.
So a thought that I had was you hear a lot about hustle, like hustle and hard work is always preached. And obviously that's something that you have, like that's in your DNA. That's something that it's a
Yeah.
mindset thing too, where you're one of the hardest workers I've seen
I
and you
don't
have a hunger for growth all the time. One of the questions I'm going to ask you is about
Yeah.
what's been the best source of growth for you, but we'll get to that in a second.
Psychological insecurity.
So somebody, right? So somebody that
No, just kidding.
doesn't understand business, because that's what you said, that you didn't have the full concept of how to actually build a company before you got into it.
No.
Somebody that's a hustler and a hard worker,
Yeah.
is it a little easier for them to learn how to build a company and a business? But a lot of times they have their foot on the gas pedal where they just blow right past that and they don't care. They think that they can just work their tail off to build the company, as opposed to understanding P&Ls and net profit and like delegating and all that stuff. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, I would say that that doing something wrong is better than doing nothing.
Mm.
So there's nothing wrong with doing something wrong. You just asked if I could come up with something. I wish that would have gone a little different. There's a lot of things that went right. So I would just say that this is a hustle business. I think it's important to find somebody who is living kind of the lifestyle that you want to live and like copy them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you need to be very, very, very careful who you get your advice from, because most people who give advice, don't really know what they're talking about. I mean, I have heard something before in the past, before I got more mature. And I was like, I heard this and I shared some stuff with people. I mean, I don't think I gave them terrible advice, but it's like, just be real careful if you give other people's advice. And if somebody gives you advice, really like figure out where that's coming from, because that's crucial. I mean, there's a lot of good people who give advice. I mean, I've had some people who were like in totally different stages of their business give me advice from their perspective, but it's like, it's different. They have like 50 rentals and they're worth millions of dollars. That advice isn't necessarily full transfer to where I'm at,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would just say that, for people who are starting out, who want to learn the business, there's really no substitute for reading. I mean, if you can read, the smartest people I know read 2 to 3 hours a day. Most people don't read 2 or 3 hours a week. I read 2 to 3 hours a week. I'd like to read 2 to 3 hours a day. I'm not doing that right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I think just building that knowledge is really important.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that goes right into our next question, which obviously books are a huge source of your growth.
Huge.
If not the number.
They are the biggest by far. And
right.
Jesus,
So,
God is the most. I pray every day. I encourage people to pray. I've always prayed. It was normally just for myself. Now I pray for other people too. And so I would just say probably praying, and then family support, and then books.
Okay, awesome. So then kind of funneling that down, what has been the biggest source of your growth? Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it is a specific book that you've read, or, maybe a piece of advice that somebody's given you. What's been the biggest source of your growth over the past 3 years of you being in real estate?
Yeah, well, for me, I feel like I'm running out of time. I'm 37 and I just don't know how many more opportunities like this I would have. I quit my job in 2008 and started my own company, and it was a total disaster because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have domain knowledge, and I wasn't doing the right activities. If anybody on this call sends me an email and says, I'm not getting to my goals, can you help me? The first thing I'm going to do is just say, well, what are your goals? And they're probably not very specific. Okay. They have to be very specific. And then I just say, just write down what you're doing all day and how much time are you spending on each activity, and send it to me. And my students who do this, and people just that I know that I just try to help, they're usually either doing the wrong activities or doing the wrong amount of activities. And so that's pretty much it. If you do the right activities for the right amount of time, you'll pretty much hit any goal that you want.
So where did you learn that from, though? That thought
about
goals,
just from books and people. I mean, y'all's mastermind's incredible. We talk a lot about goal setting in the Good Success Mastermind. Mm-hmm. Some of the other masterminds, the book Traction helps you set goals for your business and personal life. My coach, I'll tell you what, that guy Ty Lopez, I haven't met him yet. I'm sure I'll meet him someday. He's on YouTube. I don't know. Have you heard of him? He's pretty famous.
Absolutely.
He talked about, I watched one of his webinars one time. It was like 4 hours, and, he's a very smart guy, I think. And he said, you must rewire your brain. The wiring that you have in your brain is what has gotten you where you are. And if you have $50,000 a year wiring, that's all you're going to make. Mm-hmm. And, I've seen it for me and a lot of other people. So, man, where do I learn about mindset? Probably just seeing other people set goals and they achieve them. And I'm like, wow. I met I don't want to take away from anybody, but I met a lot of people at masterminds that have had some pretty incredible success. And I wasn't really crazy impressed with them. They're not some sort of Albert Einstein genius, Mm-hmm. They weren't born rich. They were just normal people who did abnormal stuff. And when the game was playing tonight, they watched a few minutes of it, and as long as they got their reading in, Yeah. And most people who are real successful have incredible discipline. Yeah. And they're willing to delay success for right now, for gains in the future. I mean, I know people now that are worth, a lot, and I'm not worth that yet. I'm trying to move up the pyramid. If you make $400 an hour, like that one podcast I did with y'all, that's something I'm really interested in. It's like $1 million a year. Mm-hmm. And so, how much you making right now per hour, and then what activities are you doing all day? And until you start doing higher level activities based on the marketplace, you're not going to make more money. Mm-hmm. And it's weird. I used to mow my own yard. I used to have a scarcity mindset. I used to say, I made $3,400 a month. I'm thankful for, that. I've made $100,000 in 1 month now. Now I don't do that every month, obviously, otherwise, I'd be talking to my assistant. I don't know. I'm just joking around. But, the point is dude, anything's possible. But you have to know what you're doing. You have to be really focused. And, I don't know, Josh. I think God's got a plan for me. I don't know what it is. I mean, our brand, we do give back a lot to charity, and that is very important to me. And I've had struggles. I've had tough times, like I don't want everybody to think this is just so easy, but I mean, you just have to keep going and believe in yourself. And if your family supports you, that's huge. I mean, my wife, she helps, supports me. I was at a RIA club last night till almost, after 10 o'clock and, she's about to have a baby and, I could be at home helping her. And so, it's a beautiful business and you got a lot of opportunity and, I can't believe it. We just moved into a new house and I rehabbed it and it's like, just like a ranch, and it's on some land and, with my old mindset, that would have never happened. I'd still be in my old neighborhood. It's kind of sad. I had to get all new friends. My friends, I just sort of had to leave them behind because it's the way it goes, man. And I mean, we don't have anything in common.
Mm-hmm. You gotta cut them off.
Yeah, they come over to my house and they just complain about their job. And all I'm talking about is, moving up the pyramid.
An amazing quote that I heard the other day is hang around people that talk about visions and goals and not talk about other people.
That's cool. That's smart.
That's very common for people my age, that there's not a lot of people my age that talk about vision and goals and stuff like that. And it can get really frustrating too. You just got to hang around the right people. You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. I
just hope that in like 10 years, you'll even want to talk to me, dude. You're going to be like this famous dude. I mean, oh my gosh, when I was your age, I was an idiot. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything 3 years ago. I was a total knucklehead. I was just breathing out of my mouth all day pretty much. I was like, I didn't know anything. I wasn't reading. I wasn't focused. I wasted 35 years of my life and I'm not going to let that happen. And so,
well, it's because you value your time now. So that's awesome stuff.
There's only so much left. I'm going to try to squeeze every ounce of juice I can out of his body. And, Josh, the next time we meet, one of 3 things is going to happen. Either you'll be at my funeral. I'd love for you to say something nice about me or just don't say anything at all. I will have achieved my real estate goals. I'll either have hit new goals or I'll be retired and I'll just take a break. I'll probably, once I hit my goals, I'm going to take like a 3 or 6 or a year off and, not talk to anybody for a little while, take a break and then come back. Or I'll still be working on my goals and that's it.
Perfect.
I dare you to try to keep me from telling me anything that's going to keep me from reaching my goals. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Come and kidnap my family and cut their head off. I'm still going to work. It's not going to happen, man. Just get like that. Get obsessed with what you're doing and don't be wishy-washy. That's my opinion. That's what I'm doing right now in Dallas, Texas.
And that all comes with writing down specific goals, smart goals. So that's
here they
awesome.
are. Whoop.
Yes, sir. So we're going to wrap this up with a couple of final questions here. If you guys have been listening on Facebook Live, we appreciate you joining us. If you're coming by way of knowing Max, then welcome to the Good Success Podcast. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So make sure
what's up?
Check that out below. So we got a couple of final questions here for you, Max, that we're going to wrap it up with.
I got to go buy a house.
So, so you actually mentioned
my phone right now.
Yeah. So you actually mentioned this, one thing that you wish that you knew back when you first started into real estate.
Yeah.
But maybe even further back. So take it back to my age.
Shit, Josh, I don't want to do that, dude. Why are you depressing me?
What do you know now that you wish that you knew when you were 24 years old?
Oh gosh.
One thing, just one thing. Besides what we've already talked about.
Oh gosh, just like way to ruin my day. That you can really achieve anything you want, but you have to relearn how to live. At any point in your life, you can totally relearn every single thing that you've ever learned in order to design the life that you desire. And it is not a fantasy. It's 100% real. And I didn't even know that existed. I just thought, kind of, what you were born into, just be happy for what you got. Maybe you can make a little more than your parents, but, like we're living in some caste society where you can't really move up that much. So I just didn't get it at all. I didn't understand anything. And I just thought I was going to live forever. The whole deal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I get it. Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect stuff. So last and final thing that we have here before we wrap up the episode.
I wonder if anybody stayed on. Thanks for staying on, guys. I know you're busy. Appreciate you.
We got to leave your audience with one thing, or our audience with one thing. Maybe it's a quote. Maybe it's a piece of advice. Maybe it's a thought that you have. Just one thing you got to leave our audience with. What would that be?
You said my audience. This is my audience now. Go to
Our
Savior
audience.
Realty Academy, sign up for our active campaign thing. Don't listen to Good Success. You're my audience now. I'm just kidding. I'm in a silly mood. I hope that's okay. I don't know what to say. I'm not a professional speaker, you know. Hey, what I want to leave the audience is that most of the things that you guys are doing right now are not important. You may think they're important, but they're not important. So figure out what's really important, what's going to help you get to your goals, and stop doing the rest of the stuff. Read the 80-20 rule book. Man, that thing's been around since like 1800. Why are you not reading it? Read 80-20 rule. Read that book, Pareto's Principle. Most of the things we do have almost zero impact on our future. So just stop doing them.
Awesome. Perfection. So you guys, that's what we got for you guys today. Max, appreciate you being on, man. We're going to have you back soon. You're my favorite. You're definitely my golden child when it comes to good success and being on.
Say that about all the real estate investors. Flattery will get you everywhere. Well, you know, I'm just me. I'm not, like I said, I really appreciate anybody who listened. I hope you got something out of it. They got a great business, a great organization over there. I've been in a lot of masterminds. I visited some that I didn't join. You know, these guys are for real. They really want to, network and help people really get to their goals. And, you know, like I said, when I met you guys, I'd only done 2 deals, you know, and I was working as a teacher, and now the whole game has changed. And so you can do it. It's not rocket science, but you just have to relearn everything that you think you know to be true.
That's such a good thought, actually. I like that a lot. Relearn, like
Everything.
Even any age that you're at. That's a great thought. That's our
Is that tweetable? I don't have a Twitter account. I'm a little behind on social media. I'm kind of like, instead of 30, I'm like 57 when it comes to my social media game. But I got this great company that handles it for me, Color Media. So really like them.
And then, so Max, if somebody wanted to contact you, what would be the best way to make that happen? Maybe email, website?
Yeah, my cell phone number. Come on, people, let's focus. You can just go to my website, Savior Realty, like our Lord and Savior, Savior Realty. There's some links at the bottom to my other brands. You can email or call the numbers on there. They go to Scott, my assistant. Just say, hey, I saw your webinar. I want to talk to Max. I'll give you a call. We'll chat. If I can help you, cool. And, it's 15 minutes. I practice what I preach. It's not like I can't hang on the phone for hours and hours, but, we're starting some new businesses. So if there's people out there that are interested in putting their money to work, we do have some people that we partner with. If there's somebody who wants to learn something or just maybe I can just point him in the right direction, just reach out. Would love to help give somebody a shortcut to where they're trying to go.
Absolutely. There you guys have it. We're going to have it linked below, his website, saviorrealty.com. Max, we appreciate you being on. We're definitely going to have you back soon. And I'll see you in August at the August Mastermind.
Looking forward to that. And maybe sooner to another mastermind. Yeah. So we'll see you soon. We're in the same circles.
We go to the same events and everything. So I'll see you around sometime.
I'll see you around.
All right. That's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. And if you did join us Facebook Live, we appreciate it. We do go Facebook Live every single Friday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. So make sure you guys jump on here and then give this video a big thumbs up, leave comments below, and then make sure you share it around. Awesome podcast today talking about time and valuing your time. And then check out all the links below. We have Max's website and also some of his contact information. And then also the Community Go-Giver events coming up July 25, 26, and 27. We're very excited about that. Make sure you sign up because it is going to be too late very soon. Prices are going to go right back up to where that's like the end-all be-all price. So make sure you guys check that out. CommunityGoGiver.com. Sign up for that. It's going to be an awesome event in July. Then we have our August Mastermind, August 9, 10, and 11. You guys have to fill out an application. So if you're a real estate professional, business owner, or even a business owner in general, you're listening to this, make sure you sign up for it. goodsuccess.com/mastermind, and we would talk to you on there. So that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. And remember, whether you're looking to survive, thrive, or matter, our goal is to provide the tools to reach your vision. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.